Grand strategy games are now some of the most played games on Steam. Period. How did the most complex, deep, and difficult to learn subgenre of strategy games become this popular? When I played the first Europa Universalis back in 2000, I never would have guessed this type of a strategy game would come to dominate the strategy game space because let's face it, it's not really known for its accessibility. At most, I thought this would be a niche subgenre that will appeal to only the most hardcore of hardcore strategy gamers. But I was wrong. If we look at even the biggest RTS game on Steam, that would be Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which has a very strong 20,000 player count in a single day on average. But Crusader Kings 3 equals it. EU4 has 12k players a day, and yes, EU5 has less players right now at 8k players a day, and Hearts of Iron 4 just has some 50,000 players a day on average. Paradox Interactive has a massive dominance with their top tier grand strategy games over strategy games that are more accessible. Of course, I can't say how many are playing StarCraft 2, which isn't on Steam. It's probably a lot, but that doesn't diminish the position of these grand strategy games. I think the biggest reason for the growth of grand strategy games is the way players learn how to play them. You see, back in the day, we had to read these things called manuals, and for Europa Universalis, we are talking about something that's over 100 pages long. And well, we still wouldn't have completely known everything about the game after reading the manual. If we wanted to learn more advanced tips and guides, we would visit the community forum full of very civil discussions. But this all changed with the rise of YouTube. YouTube brought a major shift in how we learned about games. For the first time, these dense and complex games could be broadcast to a much wider audience beyond the existing community of fans. And reading the effing manual was actually no longer a necessity. It's nice to still read them, if I may say so, but Paradox doesn't want to write manuals these days. And remember after action reports, have you ever read them on the forums? Those were legit great. I still love to read a good long AAR, but to some extent, YouTube has supplanted the written craft of AARs with Let's Plays and these days more condensed highlighted versions of them. So this YouTube content on grand strategy games, whether you are watching a guide, a tips and tricks video, or even a playthrough of a specific scenario, these all help to teach you something about the game. So these extremely complex games have been demystified by a much more accessible medium for a much wider audience. It's not just something that has replaced the traditional ways of learning these games, but also given more visibility on these games and organically grew a community around it. It's a twofold effect, really, of making the games easier to understand and marketing the games themselves. We have content creators like iSorrow who makes great Hoi 4 content, Lath who single-handedly revived Imperator Rome at one point, One Proud Bavarian and Ludi at Historia who continue to be critical of Paradox for the state of EU5, which yeah, they absolutely should. And YouTube has a way of highlighting the most engaging bits about the games, the more viral moments, if I may say so. I used to read a lot of the AARs or rather written articles on Rock Paper Shotgun, rest in peace. They were obsessed with Crusader Kings 2, and I'm pretty sure those RPS diaries converted quite a few people to try out Crusader Kings 2. I know I did, and I kind of miss the old RPS. Rest in peace. But yes, YouTube is now doing the good old work sites like RPS used to do. They showcase the best moments without needing to trudge through 20, 30, or 50 hours of gameplay to find those crazy moments. YouTube content creates more engagement with the community of these games and hence has a direct correlation to the retention and replayability of these games. We get new ideas, of what to try in new playthroughs and such. It also makes playing the game and joining the community of fans not such a scary thing anymore. I have no doubt whatsoever that the growth of YouTube certainly has had a direct impact on the growth of the fan base of Paradox Interactive's grand strategy games. I think if we had a graph of the growth of YouTube views and Paradox grand strategy game player numbers, you will see both of these lines going up. You can't really say that for every other game. Beyond the effort of Paradox Interactive to make their games easier to learn with better tutorials, updated wikis, and a design that's more intuitive, with better user experience, in theory, YouTube is the platform that has crowned grand strategy games as the new kings of the strategy game genre. And with the increased popularity of these very complex games, a grand strategy has become a lot more enticing for new developers. We've seen previously Hoi for modders becoming game developers and working on their own game, or games that try to deliver something that Paradox has not done a great job at, like making a Victoria 2 like grand strategy game. A Killer Interactive's Gilded Destiny looks like a fine game with its own unique twist on the Victorian time period. Anyway, I want to know what's your favorite grand strategy game. Tell me in the comments, is there anything new that's coming on the horizon that you are looking forward to? Oh, and there's a rumor, or rather, I think it's quite confirmed. I'm pretty sure, I'm confident this will happen. Paradox Interactive will be announcing a brand new grand strategy game this summer. They supposedly invited some content creators for an exclusive look. We've been guessing what this new game could be since last year. I think we won't have to wait too long now. But you can watch this video here where I talked about what new games Paradox could be working on. Thanks for watching. Until next time, farewell, friends.